Alrighty guys, welcome back. So I haven't posted a video for a while because I've been making lures for the website. Finished that last night, so I'm gonna try and get a YouTube video up and running. So I got this nice piece of camphor left over from the other camphor lure I built. I'm gonna sacrifice the wings off this guy. The wings are just too heavy and he always sits in the water crooked, so yeah, I'm gonna harvest the wings off that and make a bigger one. Hopefully make it a bit more stable. And we can end up going something little like that. 175 millimeters. It's going to be a pretty big lure. Don't know whether those wings are going to be big enough for it. I might actually reduce that a bit. I'll go down to 150. Just have joint pins that come through. So it'll be twist wire to a circle with a pin. Try and keep it reasonably tidy. Alright, so we'll get to drawing on this bit of camphor and then we'll cut her out. So sapwood in the centre. Well, it's not sapwood, but closer to the centre. That's going to be heavier, more dense. So we're going to do it this side up with a white back. Might use this end of the wood because it's a bit thicker. I'm going to keep this guy pretty broad so I can shove some weight in his belly and make sure he stays upright. The other issue I've got down this end of the timber, actually it's all the way through it, camphor gets that weird soft grain. So I don't know whether I try and avoid that or whether I just go for it. Probably just going to go for it. What do we say? 150. Bit of a square front on him. It's going to be a slow moving topwater bait, so something like that. Keep her in the middle. So we're going what? Oh shit, I didn't realise that ruler went to 155. Oh well, 155 we are. Okay Google, what's 155 divided by 3?
The answer is approximately 51.666667.
So 52 mil. So whether do we keep the joint at 1/3 or what? Because those wings are going to be roughly there somewhere. So let's start by getting these wings off. Alright, so now that we've got our wings, they are what, total length 70 mil. So I reckon if I bang a joint in at 70, alright, so that'll be the joint line. What are we thinking eyes wise? We go extreme and put a big one on it. Yeah, we're going to put a 16 mil eye on it and keep the wings just down below. Oh, yeah, just below the centre. It's going to be incredibly hard to draw that, isn't it? I probably should have pulled this apart. Alright, so before I cut anything, I'm going to put a pilot hole through there for the wings so they're both on the same spot, both sides, and pilot hole for the eye. Then we'll cut this on the bandsaw. Dusty. So let's get a center line on this guy. Transfer that joint line across. Alright, what do you reckon, V-joint or not? Fuck it, let's do it. So, what sort of shape are we thinking? Let's go broad head, eh? And then we're out here. So we mark a line there, and then we just taper it gently back to the tail. Still leaving plenty of meat. So now it's just a matter of cutting that out. So cut on the inside of your line, right? Sounds stupid, but where you want your line to be on the lure is on the outside of where you're cutting, so makes sense, right? So a big broad head on him and then taper down to there. Obviously the fold line's your center. So you line it up with your center lines. That should give you a symmetrical bait, as long as you don't move while you're drawing it. Alright, I'm just going to trim them and round that off at the sander, then we'll be back. I'm not going to bring you along for that, or will I? So while I'm here, draw a line on here, and just sand to that at 30 degrees. So that's a few of the tapers done already. Just gotta finish off this little tail piece. Doing it on that little belt sander how I was doing it, you can't really get this section. Alright, now's the fun part, the hand sanding, trying to round all that over. So I forgot to press record, guys, but there he is. It's all sanded up, a bit of focus. So that's just rough sanded to 180. I'm going to drill the eye sockets now and then sit on the bench and sand it probably to 400. So the only drill bit I've got is one of these old spade bits. I need to get a 16mm Forstner. Spade bit will work though. Alright, I'm not going to use these eyes, but they do look alright. Maybe I will use one of them, I don't know. But I've literally just checking the depth. Drill it a bit, check it, drill it, check it. Quite easy to go too deep, too quick on these things. So, I just turned the fan on, so it might be a bit noisy, but first I'm going to hit it with a 240. And go down to a 400, might go to a 600. See how it looks, but I'm going to try and taper those eyes in a little bit. Alright, so I've got this thing fairly well sanded. Colours are nice, it's going to look nice once I put the finish on it. I tell you guys, it's going nude or what? It's going nude. It's a shame to cover all that up. Now, because we all know how fishing lures work, it needs a lot of weight in its belly to keep it upright, because that's a lot of wood to float. There's probably going to be a way better way to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. So, center of the body, like, is there, but it's going to move forward a bit because of the weight of those wings. They're all hanging off the front. You know what I did? I sanded off all my lines. Now I don't know where the center of that joint is. I'm going have to sand that again afterwards anyway, so that looks pretty central. So I'm just going to put this on the drill press and just drill a whole heap of holes along that line, and then get the Dremel and make it wide inside, just so I can try and hide that the best as possible. So Dremel with the burr bit, or whatever that bit's called. Not going to be able to see in there, but it's hollowed out quite a bit. So that was 20 grams of lead. Like he's I don't know if it's going to be enough, eh? I'm going to run with it anyways. Bit of the offcut I used for the belly. Sand her up and ram her in the hole. So just wood glue. Alright, while that's setting, let's go and make the hardware for him. I really hope that's enough lead. Like, when it's in your fingers like that, it feels very bottom heavy. So that's just the head of the bolt. 2 drill bits. A round bar with a drill bit and a handle, obviously. Simple, basic. So it's a stainless steel TIG welding rod, 316. So drill bit the diameter of whatever size you want the opening of that to be. In my case, 5mm. .6mm twist wire. So because these are 1.6s and that's a pretty big lure, I'm going to keep these fairly long. So I'll set my drill bit to 40mm. I'll go 40s. And test fit all these into the holes before I glue them in anyway, so nothing worse than trying to get that in the hole at the end and it's not deep enough. You already got glue in there. Alright, let's rip those wings off. That glue's still not 100% dry. Not far from it though. So I'm going to cut it in half. Start working on that joint, so it should take a little bit, and then that'll be dry. Beautiful. Alright, so I've gone through and rounded off all that edge. That glue's nearly dry, so I can nearly tackle that. Plan here with this one. It's not actually my plan, sanding and marling baits always does. So both sides I'm just going to taper that back further. And then round her over. I was just showing you guys, I've got to press record again. So I made a couple of little nicks in that with the bandsaw, drilled a hole, put some pins in it, rammed the two together to mark the location. Perfect. So now I'm going to mark these guys out. Alright, so I've flattened off the front of that joint. Just going to hand sand all those hard edges now. Also, while I had the sander running, I just knocked that infill down. Like, it's not perfect, but that's a whole heap better than a bloody whole heap of baking soda or something. Alright guys, been sanding for a hell of a long time. Alright, I'm going to brush all the dust off and then paint on the wheelbase. Paint it on because I don't want an excess on here and I don't want drips. These aren't the screw eyes either. I made a couple extras with big holes so I can hang them up. Alright, so this piece in particular has got a couple of imperfections. They're just soft parts of the wood that, I don't know, weird. Leaving it like that though, it's character. So this is really going to give you a sneak peek of what they're going to look like. It really is a beautiful looking wood, isn't it? Pity it's a pest. Alright guys, they're those same eyes I showed you at the start. Those big, I guess they're reptile eyes. So I peeled the backing off them and try and make my own. I've also made another set of eyes I didn't film, but I'm going to see which ones look better. If the other ones end up looking better than these ones, I might use them. So I don't know whether that'll pick that up or not, but so there's a double cut on that center section, and then the outside section's just to line it up. So I try to get it centralized. Because I normally just eyeball it and I always get it wrong. So I'm going to give them a quick fine misting of that. Red, orange, gold, green. So I put the tape around it so I don't get it all over the front of the eye like I normally do. So that's the code of the colour shift. I want to try and peel out that centre ring, hopefully it comes out. And then, just got jet black in there. Let's check these eyes out, see if that was worth it or not. Looks pretty good to me. Alright, so next step, glue the eyes in, and glue the hardware in, and we'll come back tomorrow and clear coat. Looks alright. Alright, let's get some glue mixed up. So one thing I've figured out right These super glue nozzles fit on tiny syringes. Awesome for gluing up. Just make sure you push them on there good and cut off the excess so you don't have too much back pressure. You probably won't get to see me glue these in because the lure is going to be all clear coated then and it'll be the finish. But it's going to be the exact same process as the rest, so you won't miss much. Super strength araldite. So don't worry about how much mess you make doing this. You're throwing it out afterwards. What, 1.2 mil of mixed up araldite. That's it. Gonna let it set overnight and come back clear coat. It's a long process, this one. I'll give you a quick look at those other eyes I made up. I never ended up using them, but you might think they're cool. 16 mil, they didn't quite suit this bait, but I'm going to hang on to them and I'm going to use them soon. Don't know what on, but they're pretty cool. I'll show you how to make them next time I use them too. Alright, here we are guys. Just finished up that guy. I'm going to put a little clip here of him spinning around. Alright, let's see how much this big guy weighs. I have to sort of try and balance him on something because he's a bit bigger than what the scales are. Tear it out. Keep hooks on it. Come on, hook. $128 grams. He's a big boy. What's that, an ounce? Okay, Google. How much is 128 grams in ounces? 4.5 ounce. You come out pretty good. That's that underside. You see the pin there. I left all the resin in the top to stop it coming out the top. Alright, so I've made sure he floats and he floats upright, so I'm just going to take him for a swim and make sure he works. Alright guys, here we are. It's a little bit windy. So I was supposed to be kayak fishing today, but this wind sort of ruined that. So I got my swim bait rod, 130 grams. Oh no, that's not good. She might be a dud. I think she's a dud, guys. Yeah, no, she's not looking good, is it? What's that doing? Propeller? Yeah, no, she doesn't work. Interesting. That's hilarious. It's just spinning like a propeller. Alrighty guys, just got back from the dam. So hopefully the footage shows up of that. This thing did not work. I'm in two minds whether I actually stuff around with it and make it work, or whether I just hang her up as an ornamental because it looks too nice. So put a comment below what you reckon it was. Do you reckon I put too much weight in the belly, made it too stable? Do you reckon the wings are too small, just overall too big? I don't know. Done the cartwheels pretty nice though, didn't it? But anyways, that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. catches.